The Supreme Court has declined Trump's request to halt sentencing in the New York case. And is it my understanding that it was Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett?
Yeah, they joined the liberals and voted to say that Trump has to. Oh, if you refresh, there's a lot more story now.
A lot more story if I refresh.
A lot more story if you refresh. But yeah, they voted with the liberals to say that Trump has to face sentencing in Judge Juan Merchan's court tomorrow.
So Clarence Thomas, Alito, Gorsuch, and Kavanaugh indicated they would have approved Trump's emergency request. But Roberts and Coney Barrett joined the liberals to have Trump be sentenced.
I think that's absolutely insane. And I think it's obvious, too, that the judge and Alvin Bragg, I mean, Alvin Bragg really wants his scalp, you know? So the whole point of this is he can't be a convicted felon until they finish the trial. To finish the trial, you have to go through sentencing. And now when Trump enters office, he'll be the first president to ever.
That is 100% spot on. They're doing this a week before he gets sworn in as president, or 10 days, technically, I suppose. That is the end game. They want to call him a convicted felon.
They really want that.
That is the only reason they're doing this.
And that's why they're saying he's not going to get any penalties.
Right. And he's not going to get any penalties. It would be absurd. I mean, what kind of penalties could there be? You'd have to set up a White House at Rikers Island or something. Like, that would kind of be badass. But, like, you know, that's not really the jam.
He'd be like
His
a
ankle
mob
bracelet
boss.
would be gold. It would be the most badass
ankle bracelet.
I mean, his security would be arguably a lot better.
At Rikers, I think
The food would be better.
a lot less bad things would happen to the incarcerated people there.
Running the
Trump was
country
there.
from in prison like some kind of ultimate mob leader.
Yeah,
That would
ultimate
be
mob
the
leader.
ultimate.
In here with me, or wait, no, it's the other way around.
I'm not locked up in here with you. You're locked up in here with me.
That's
And I hope they
Epic
raise
line.
a ton of money when this happens, when this goes down. This is what they are doing. They're trying to destroy our country by destroying him.
So they charge this guy. They want to sentence him, and then what? To nothing?
They just want to call him a convicted felon. That is all this is about.
It's all narrative.
It's all narrative.
But is there
all
a chance that
message.
he goes and they're like, yeah, you're guilty. You're sentenced to 60 days in jail.
Yeah.
No, the judge has already said he won't do jail.
But the chance doesn't mean it's going to happen.
But
Right,
technically, it could still happen like that. And then Trump's like put in handcuffs and walked out.
The judge has said no. They're going to do it virtually.
Oh,
But
okay.
I mean,
I guess that's reasonable.
there's a you're not asking to turn oxygen into gold, okay? Like, can a judge sentence Trump to prison? Yes, he's got 34 felony counts. And I'll tell you, it's very strange, in fact, for a judge to be like, 34 felony counts, I hereby sentence you to nothing. Bang the gavel. But because the average person doesn't know and doesn't care, they're going to turn on CNN, and Evan Cooper is going to say, a convicted felon.
Yep.
That's it.
They're going to
That's
say
all they want to do.
Convicted felon, President Donald Trump. President Donald Trump, a
the next 4
convicted
years.
felon.
Well, I hereby convict Juan Merchan for the felony of violating free Damastani law. And I never said it was official U.S. jurisdiction or sanctioned courts. But you can now call Juan Merchan a convicted felon because I hereby have judged it that he is a felon in the land of free Damastan.
We could even get a jury of our peers.
We're here, all in favor of
Pop
him
them,
being
you know?
guilty of lawfare.
Oh, totally
done.
guilty of lawfare.
That's it. That's a majority.
Although I would say that Alvin Bragg was a
Both of them.
big accomplice.
If
you know, he
look,
was,
the point is, if they
Juan
want
Merchan
to,
was an accessory.
if they want to have a sham trial on fake charges and then call Trump a convicted felon, I can do the same thing.
So what would
If there's no qualifications for what makes someone a convicted felon, then Alvin Bragg's a convicted felon.
this is
They
the
The other
have
thing,
turned
too,
the
they
court
still-
system into a joke. The judicial
Yeah.
system into a joke. You're going to have a
Merrick
journal
Garland
your
helped.
property at your studio any minute now.
this is like the documents case. This is where they gave him 34 charges for like one email. Got sent to 34 people
No,
or
this
something.
is a different thing.
This is Stormy Daniels.
Oh my God.
This is, and the 34 counts are: he received an invoice, they filed the invoice, he signed a check, he received the receipt for the signed check. It's like so little tiny things.
I hope
know?
No
Trump
evidence.
locks them all up.
And
That's what I'm
meanwhile,
wondering.
no one ever said what the felony was that that
these
Trump
things.
was said to have committed. Because every time Alvin Bragg has prosecuted this charge, falsification of business records, it has been a misdemeanor. And the only way that he could make these misdemeanors felonies is
Correct.
by saying that
Correct.
these misdemeanors were committed in service to a felony crime. But he never said what that felony crime was. And in fact,
And he can't
when
even prosecute a felony.
No, and-
by law, he can't.
and when Judge Juan Merchan gave instructions to the jury, he told the jury that the jury did not have to agree on what the felony crime was.
Just that they all agree that Trump did some crime somewhere.
They agree Trump's a
Right.
felon. That's all That's all
Right.
it was. Is a PR.
So it was a completely bogus trial, and the jury came back multiple times with questions. It was clear that they were sort of confused about these charges. It was also clear that they did not agree on what felony was perhaps committed, and also Alvin Bragg was trying to indicate that the crime had something to do with election interference, but that's a federal crime, not a state crime, and this was a state prosecution. So in every conceivable way, if Bragg was going to prosecute these charges, it should have been 34 counts, misdemeanor counts, and that's it.
Correct.
That's it.
No, it was beyond the statute of limitations. He couldn't.
Yeah, there was that too.
It's so incredible.
But the only reason they were able to extend the statute of limitations is because he said it was felonies.
Yep.
It's such a fabrication, and yet,
Entirely.
like we said earlier, this is all about being able to say convicted felon.
That's
the
all.
only reason they want to do it.
reason.
And it is
More leftist language games.
It's absolutely leftist language games, and it is the stuff of banana republics. And I am kind of shocked that there are people on the left in government that actually want to behave like this. It's normal for activists. It's not a surprise that, in a country of 350 million people, there'd be, or 330 million people, there'd be some crazies that are like, let's do anything so that way we can just say this, blah, blah, blah. That isn't a surprise. But the fact that there are people that are supposed to be serious people in government that are the quality and caliber of our elected officials and our judges and the judiciary in this country, that it has fallen so low, so absolutely just incredibly low, that these people are not only taken seriously, but they're allowed to be in positions of authority. It is terrible for the country.
Then they go write books, they do movies, they fundraise for their next election cycle, their next election campaign off of this. This is just a PR junket for them. It's not serious. They're not serious
Short-term
people.
gains, long-term losses.
Correct.
And too much fluoride in their water.
That too.
That was for Phil.
You got a point.
Hey man, people are getting dumbed down by crazy chemicals in the water and the food
Out of
supply
left field,
too, and then they get
snowball right
right
into your
That's why there's
face.
so many trans in California, because of the chemicals. I don't.
What if, let's get conspiratorial. I feel like maybe the reason there are people who don't believe in God is because they have no connection to it. And the conspiracy theory is that fluoride calcifies your pineal gland or whatever. I don't know if that's true, but that's what people say. But I wonder if
What people say.
there is a prominent community of people on the internet,
Really?
DMT, like hippy-dippy ayahuasca people, that for a long time have said fluoride calcifies your pineal gland, which I don't know why fluoride would calcify. Sounds nonsensical to me. But
This
the point
says
is,
here it does not directly cause calcification. The pineal gland accumulates hydroxyapatite crystals, which are in your bone. It's a type of crystal in your bone.
from fluoride?
It just accumulates in your pineal gland, and then the fluoride has a high affinity for calcium, which is a component of the crystals.
So it tracks it?
So it brings the calcium out of those crystals in the.
So
pineal gland.
my point is, what if water fluoridation, which is only dominant over the last 100 years, is the reason why we've seen a reduction in belief in God?
Can you reverse it? Can you reverse?
I don't know.
The calcification.
I think you can. Yeah,
pineal
let's
gland.
find out.
Just wild conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
How does that
Because
work?
everybody believed in God, and now we have like growing atheism in the Western world.
For me, it was
When
trying
did the fluoride start?
I think it was like 1912 or something. I could be wrong. I'll check.
You said 100 years-ish.
out.
It cannot be reversed by detoxing methods such as fasting. According to this, is just AI, brave AI. However, some supplements
1945 in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
right after
Really?
what month?
So
January.
You know what? That kind of goes along with what you were saying, because it was the boomers who abandoned God, and that's when the boomers all started drinking water.
You know, for me, it was like I had to figure out what God was, because when they were telling me, hey, Santa Claus is real, and so is God, and then I found out Santa Claus was fake, I was like, well, maybe God's fake too. It's just all a big lie. I can't see it, so don't. But then when I started to see like the cosmic microwave background radiation through these radio telescopes, and you see this undulating web of like radiation left over after the Big Bang, it looks like a neural net. Like, all right, okay.
You know what I found really sort of convincing for me was, how energy can neither be created nor destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Only changed.
Right. So when you die, what happens to your energy? You must go somewhere. Where do you go?
Into the sun.
Maybe you go back to your creator,
Or off into deep
and
space.
end up being created into more things. And
You wake up in a crane game with the claw picking you up and death.
Think about it. People
What I thought was that means
you're on Mars.
What I thought was that means the energy that is in every human being exists in an afterlife.
For sure. They say you're headed towards a bright light, which is probably the sun. And they say hell is the absence of God, which is people that refuse the light. They refuse to go towards the sun. They don't want to be amalgamated back into the spirit realm of this glorious ball of energy. So they go flying off into deep space where it's cold and dark, and that's hell in the Bible. I mean, it just tracks.
And then they're chewed in the mouth of the devil for eternity.
Perhaps.
That's
Or
the
they're
Dante
brought back to the
version.
light.
I know.
Yeah, I
It's
love
great.
that.
It's a guide
so
them.
good.
That's why it's funny
that's
when Trudeau said there isn't a snowball's chance in hell. I'm like, I love that because if you go by the Dante's Inferno thing, that snowball's
Cold.
Yeah.
doing pretty well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Also, he said there isn't a snowball's chance in hell. Doesn't he mean there is a snowball's chance in hell?
Yes. That would
People
be-
always do like I couldn't. What do they say? I couldn't care less, or I could care less.
Right.
Which is the wrong
Which
one.
means
The
that,
entendre.
yeah.
You have a wide range of perhaps you care. I guess it's I cannot care any.
I care
less than-
so much that I could care less.
There is a snowball's chance in hell because the implication is a snowball would melt. If there isn't, I guess you're saying it's a wide range of possibilities. I don't know.
Or hell is deep space.
And it's cold.
freezing, yeah.
It's freezing.
A snowball would evaporate, I guess.
Would it evaporate?
A snowball in space?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It depends on how cold it is.
It's
It-
really,
it
really
would
cold.
absolutely evaporate.
It depends if it's actually if it's got indirect sunlight or not, because like if you're in space without any air around you, if you're in direct sunlight, you're getting that direct radiation and heat and stuff. So it probably would melt.
I'm not an astronaut.
It says a snowball would not.
I'm in a room full of astronauts. I feel like right
Hey, we're on a spaceship at the moment. Now that you mentioned that, Nancy.
It would sublimate
Which means it goes from solid to gas.
without becoming liquid
Interesting.
because of the vacuum. So evaporate was the
Evaporate would have been liquid
Wrong
to
word.
gas. Yeah, sublimate. That's hardcore.
sublimate.
I was just thinking about snow yesterday.
How am I going to use sublimate in an X post? That's going to be my mission this weekend.
Emotions can sublimate.
It's a new word.
Yeah, that
Trump must sublimate.
our national debt.
Yes.
Or drones.
Oh,
don't
we
know.
could if we could sublimate
You
drones.
sublimate drones.
We
could,
need
if you hit them with
to-
high enough heat.
And which is more
Deport
important, drones or the
people.
debt? Debt.
I think the drones are the immediate problem, but
I
then
don't
the
know.
debt is probably.
Who knows what the drones are, but we should investigate. All right, everybody, we're going to go to Super Chat. So smash that like button, share the show with everyone you know. Become a member by going to timcast.com and click join us. And, the dog's yelling.
Yeah.
What did you find?
She's happy to hear your voice.
Oh, okay.
Excited for
People,
Super
people,
Chats.
do you want to show your dog off?
Yeah, we're Libby. Come here, baby.
She's right over here.
The dog's name is Libby.
The
You got
dog's
Libby?
name is also Libby, you guys.
The dog's name is Liberty.
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 So the whole time we're doing this show, this little dog's been running around, just exploring and sniffing and doing dog stuff.
Her name's Liberty. She loves freedom, the Constitution, and bacon.
Dang. Nice hairdo.
I also like those things.
Smart dog. Very
In what order? Was that the order that?
I'm a dog person generally, but I like that dog extra.
Yeah,
a
she's
cute
7
dog.
pounds of freedom right here. Just you know.
She was
Cannot
just
be
running around
tamed.
the whole show. It was pretty funny.
She was sitting near you, watching you the whole time.
Oh, really?
Right behind
Oh, look
you.
at that.
Do you bathe her frequently?
Yeah, but once a month.
What kind of chemicals do you use? Like temperature of
Oh,
the
it's
water?
like oatmeal shampoo. You know, the best stuff for her coat. She's got long hair. It's hard to detangle.
It's nice. Her hair looks very
Yes.
good. Do you use like warm water? or hot
Lukewarm
or-
water.
Warm.
Have you ever brought her onto the floor?
What's that?
Have you ever brought her onto the floor?
Oh yeah, and I've been asked to take her off the floor, and I keep her there.
Yeah.
So
Good.
I'm like, you guys can arrest me and my dog. But she got sworn in with me last session. I had her in. We got
wow.
sworn in at like 2 a.m. and I had the dog. I had her in one hand, and my other hand was up getting sworn in the middle of the night. She's been on the. She's seen some floor action.
Why
That
middle?
dog's seen some stuff, man. Now here live on Timcast IRL on the floor of
Her
Congress.
premiere on
Yeah,
Timcast.
Libby looking good.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.